Hey guys, welcome back to your favorite show, 250 Chat, here on Prime TV, coming to you every Monday at 7:30. As always, we're at one of the coolest places in Kigali for Blooms. Guys, I keep telling you, you should try their burgers, their chapatis, their salads. Just heaven sent, seriously. So, today, we were talking, and then we realized that there are things about the city we live in, Kigali, that are so peculiar that you don't actually find them elsewhere. So we thought that we are, going to discuss that, and we'd really, really love to hear your thoughts too. Please engage with us on social media at 250 Chat on all the platforms: Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. So the topic is: what are the things that can only be found in Kigali? I'd like to give time to some of the people who haven't been in this town for long, because probably you have been able to discern or to see these things clearer than we have. So who wants to go first?
Please allow me to start. I have a list. Things that only happen in Kigali. Alors, staring. Shall I read my whole list or shall we discuss? Staring. Please, can you please explain to me the Rwandan stare? Why?
Yeah, please. And can Rwandans
What
in the
are you
house
staring
explain this? Because this is a problem for me too. Yeah.
Sherry, you wanna go first?
On behalf of all of Rwanda.
On behalf of all of Rwanda, we just like to look at people. And by the way, at first you would think that it's cause like there's something on your face or something about how you're dressed or where you are, but it doesn't really matter. Location, the way you look like doesn't matter. Someone can actually just stare at you. Yesterday, actually, I was in the salon and someone was staring at me and I was in a dryer. So I just kept on looking at them like,
So what I don't get is, okay, cool, you stare, but so I catch you staring and then you're still staring. Like, what is that?
yeah, actually, they don't look away. we don't look away. Things that only happen in Kigali, not giving way. Drivers, please, just be generous. You're gonna get where you're going anyway. So people don't give way. And have you seen the V8 drivers? Not specifically to anyone, but people who drive V8, oh my goodness. The road is not yours. It's for the government. It's for everyone. So just chill.
Can I comment on this? Listen, there is no shame. Like, I've been places before where people stared and like somehow by staring back, like they get a little intimidated and kind of like maybe smile or look away. Nothing. Like, you stare and the person will continue staring at you like it is their right. They were put on this earth to stare at you and you must deal. Please. What? No.
To be honest, I don't like. I've tried to think up reasons. I just really can't find any. I think it's just like a cultural peculiarity that we have, right? Where we just feel like it's okay to stare at people, right? For any reason. Maybe because we think they're cute and we'd like to keep looking at their face. Maybe because we think there's something weird about them or about how they're dressed, for example. So we do like to stare a lot. My thing is, when you stare, when I find you staring, I stare back. And then it's gonna be, who's left standing? Game on, let's see, right? But the other thing that I find actually more wrong than staring is talking about people, right? And not caring to not show them that you're talking about them. So someone will be across the road, you look at them, you see that they've noticed that you're staring at them, and then you're like,
Oh, yeah, that thing. Oh, yeah.
so another thing that happens only in Kigali, we do not know how to point fingers, we point mouth, like, look at that.
I have a real joke about that. Well, it's not even a joke, but one time I was watching the news and they were talking about Umuganda. You guys know Umuganda, right? And then they were in a certain neighborhood talking to some locals there, and they were asking one of the men. He's a bit elderly, and they were asking him about how was Umuganda, where did you go? And I'm gonna put the mic down so I can illustrate what he did. They'll probably get it very nicely. So he put his hands behind his hands like, go ahead, hurry your horse. Like he was literally pointing with his mouth saying, oh, we went all that way, we just went up that hill and behind that hill. And yeah, so we talk like that.
That brings me to another point, right? So I go out a lot, and so you're at a club or somewhere or a lounge, and then you turn around and you just feel like this presence, this glare. And there's this, you turn around and there's this human being just literally looking at you, and you can tell that they kind of like you. But this girl will never stand up to come meet you. It happens every single time. Like, and you can tell this person is interested. It's not just the regular stare. They want to talk to you, but they don't actually. So, Rwandan men, what's up with that? Like,
maybe they're just, have you ever seen in Kenya we have this rotisserie chicken that is always on the that is always on the grill and just going around, and then I'm telling they're just looking at it. Sometimes just good to look at, but they've still not formulated their plan on how they're going to approach it. But now about the staring, when I came to Rwanda the first time, I found it really weird. But what I've realized is, as they say, when you go to Rome, do as the Romans do. Now these days I find myself, like when I reach like at a stoplight, automatically I start looking at the guy who's driving next to me. I'm like, it happens so automatically because I'm used to it now. And you expect the guy to look at you. Like, if he doesn't look at you, this guy is a foreigner. Because automatically he'll also look at you. He's trying to see, okay, so what is inside your car? So who do you have in your car? It's so fascinating. It's so... Who do you...
You should go around on bikes because then that's so you're on a motor, right? Yeah. You get to a stop. There is a red light. You stop. There is a car there. God forbid, it's a man driving the car and there's a lady right beside. The motor guy will very, very, very poised look at the person, look back, and start making comments about what is probably happening in that car. And they have such outlandish theories. It's the funniest thing.
I feel like I have so many jokes around staring. Have you ever even been on a motor? And this has happened to me several times. And the motor guy is like, so have you seen that woman? And I feel like telling him, dude, you should be riding. Why are you looking at other people? Like, just take me to where I'm going to. So it's a culture. And then we also... I'm not even going to say I don't do that, but I've consciously learned that this is something that I don't like, so I try not to do it. So we are all doing that.
Coming back to JD's point of, guys only staring, I am happy to say I cannot relate.
oh wow, okay.
If you see Bruce, watch out.
All right, so Kigalians, I know that, there's a saying that swag knows no weather, but guys, we take it to another level. You'll find someone that if his outfit requires him to wear a bomber jacket, he will not care that it is 32 degrees Celsius outside. He's gonna wear the bomber jacket.
So do you think the staring thing is because in some shape or form, a lot of people here are nosy and they just want to know what's going on with the other person, and so that's why they're just looking? And do you think it has anything to do with it?
This is a funny question. I'll let you guys answer, but I'll just chip in that I had to tell one of my friends from here what the word nosy meant as I was calling him nosy. And I had to explain to him that, like, no, you can't call that curious. Like, curious has limits. Curiosity is like a certain amount of like, what's going on over there? And then I move on. When you are that invested in what is happening to someone else in another location that does not concern you, you have bypassed curious, you have not collected 200, but you have gone straight to nosy. So I had my whole list. Other things that I only see in Kigali. Whispering. I feel like people speak at a volume that I cannot hear. Somehow people hear each other, which is very interesting. So I don't know if it's genetic. I don't know if I just haven't been here long enough and I need to develop that ability. But I start to feel crazy because I know the person is whispering and I keep asking them to repeat themselves and speak loudly. And they keep speaking at the same volume, but then all the other people around me have caught what they've said and have understood. I don't know. I came to Kigali from West Africa. Listen, volume is just different out there. So if you see me and you're talking to me, I really need you to speak up, please.
Okay, I feel like we could talk about this forever. I also have a list over here, and one of them is the wedding launch. Um, you guys know about the wedding launch contributions?
Wait, hold on. Wait, what?
Wedding launch. Do you know wedding launch?
No, clearly I don't. What is that?
Okay. So wedding launch is like when two people are getting married and then they invite their friends. Usually it's like their direct friends, family, maybe if they're young people in the family, but they host them maybe at a house or at a restaurant and whatever, and then anything that you buy, everything that is there is on sale. So if you buy drinks, if you buy food, okay, most of the part is just the drinks, depending on where it is. If it's in someone's house, maybe there'll be like a few bites here and there. If it's in a restaurant, you're going to have to buy everything, and then there's a percentage of what you've bought. For example, if this juice is 2,000, normally 1,500, then at the wedding launch is probably going to be going for 2,500. So that extra 1,000 goes to the wedding. Yeah.
So to get you right, the crowdfunding for the wedding, basically.
Yeah.
Why?
In a parting, because you want to contribute to this person's wedding. They need money for their wedding, so you're
But
contributing.
didn't they realize that before they decided to get married?
That's a whole different conversation. And yeah, that's my point here. The wedding contributions, wedding launch contributions, that's another thing that I've only seen in Kigali.
Yeah, to be honest, I did not know that was a thing until a few months ago. And it's still such a foreign concept to me that I don't know. It's one thing, right, to do contributions the way we normally do it, which is also kind of peculiar to Rwanda. I've talked to some other people from other countries that do not do it, but at least here, we know that you're gonna send out invites to people, and then people might feel obligated to contribute to your wedding because they're friends, or they want to help out whatever way they can. But it's voluntary, right? The idea of hosting a party and putting things on sale so that I use that money for my wedding, when I knew that I was planning to get married in the first place, it's not something that came out of the blue and I'm like, oh well, where am I gonna find the money? I don't understand it. I really don't.
I actually have a question about this. For the wedding launch, because we discussed kind of at a different point the contributions, but in this case, for these parties, do people know it's a wedding party? Like, have I potentially been at a wedding launch buying food and drinks to
Without knowing
supplement
it?
someone's wedding and I had no idea?
Let me just answer that real quickly. So most of the times they send out like invites, or maybe like, what do they call it, like a post or something with a couple, and then there's like the venue, and so people usually know. But then it's also open to bringing other people, because the more you bring people, the more money that they make. Yeah, so probably you might have gone to one without knowing, but the person who you probably went with knew that this was a wedding launch, so they let you know. If you're invited, they let you know. Yeah.
Definitely only in Kigali.
So, for me, I would say that this wedding launch phenomena definitely is different from where I'm from. Where I'm from is we have this thing called Harambe, which everyone knows. This is where people come together, put money aside, and we are taking this bright young girl to school. That's a Harambe. We're raising funds to take this lady who has been suffering from this illness for a while to India. That's a Harambe. Yes, noble causes. Now, sometimes it's even, I don't think I've ever seen one for a wedding. Maybe it's just family will say, okay, here, maybe take envelope. Yeah, but usually there's no event for that. Now, there was this once, a friend of mine said, Charles, I'm having a wedding. I'm like, congratulations, man. And it was a guy. I'm like, okay, so, man, have fun. Like, because I knew I was not going for the wedding. So I'm like, hey, have fun, enjoy. He's like, no, let me bring your card. I'm like, no, it's not necessary. What you can do when we meet again, you will give me the card. Don't worry. No. Tell me where your offices are. I bring the card. I'm like, okay, so then maybe he wants to talk about something, whatever it is. So he brings the card personally. So he brings the card. So here's the card. I'm like, thank you. okay. So will you come? I'm like, yeah, I think so. I'll see you. Because it was like almost 2 months before the day. I was like, okay, maybe I'll try and come. Now, like 5 days to the wedding, the guy starts calling me. He's like, so did you say you are going to come? I'm like, I wasn't sure that I was going to come, so I'll let you know. He's like, okay, so now, well, you see, the reason I brought you the card is also maybe I was thinking maybe you can contribute, maybe because we're having some things, and maybe you could contribute some money. You didn't also tell me how much you are going to give.
So he brought you your ticket to the
He literally brought me my entrance fee, which I needed to pay. So that is definitely something that we don't have where we're from. I think where we're from, you're told, okay, on the 9th of July, we have a harambe. Be there, be square. Yani, come through. And you come with money in your pocket. One thing that I find peculiar about Kigali, well, not peculiar, it's a good thing, because I always see guys on the street with white shoes. They've been walking, and their shoes are so clean. White shoes, they are so clean, and you can find that guy's drip is just amazing. Another thing that I think I found about Rwanda that is a good thing for me is that I was able to make friends really easily in Rwanda. I feel as if people are open. And people are actually, I wouldn't say genuine, but people give you the time of day to actually talk. Where I'm from, man, like
being nosy.
people actually care. Where I'm from, man, people are hustling. People don't give a shit what you're doing. People are just, and they can even step on your neck to get on top, Here a bit, well, there's more of that African community kind of vibe, which I like. I made friends very easily, and I feel as if they're more of my friends now than even the friends I left back home. And now I feel as if Rwanda is more of my home now than it was before.
I would just echo on that, to not only harp on the things that are a bit unusual, because there are those, but that was definitely my experience coming to Rwanda. When I moved here alone. I didn't know anyone in the country, and it was my 4th or 5th time moving to a new country where I didn't know anyone, but definitely like my easiest integration out of everywhere I've moved. Like, I thought, okay, I'm a bit older now, like I'm probably going to be less capable of making friends because I won't be interested in going out as much. But I find that when you reach out to people, they're receptive. You can meet friends through friends extremely easily. So I know you, and you introduced me to Bruce, and for me to then connect with Bruce and start developing my own friendship with him, it's totally acceptable. No one's looking at you like, oh, you stole my friend, or, none of that weird stuff that you can encounter some other places. I definitely feel like Rwanda, Kigali is like one big open community, in the good and the bad. Everybody knows everybody, but there's a place for you when you come here, and that's really dope.
So something else that's only in Kigali that I really like, because I've lived in so many other cities, is so I move here and I get to the zebra crossing and I'm just, standing, and then I see cars just stop and then they hoot like beep beep, go, and I'm like, yo, wait, what? Nah, this is not right. Nah, I feel like they're gonna kill me if I keep walking. Somebody goes, no, you can go. So that was really cool, like the fact that they obey the laws here and they actually stop for pedestrians to actually cross the street. It's only Kigali I've seen that in a lot of African countries, so that's pretty cool.
One of my favorite things about Rwanda in general is women and natural hair. Oh my gosh. I remember the first time I was going to a hair salon here, I waited for almost a year before I went because my experience had pretty much been that, strangely, being on the continent, people in salons, so people with Afro-textured hair, did not know how to manage it, did not know how to comb it. And I was so pleasantly surprised that the salons I go to here, they know how to comb, they know how to do things gently. But then I made the connection, it's because so many women here have natural hair. I think all hair is beautiful. I think that everyone has the choice to do what they want, rock your fro, get your weave, girl, swing them inches. But I do love seeing so many people, so many women taking pride in their natural hair and leaving their hair in the state as it grows out of their hair. I love that. Thank you, Kigali.
Do they though? Yeah, I think it really is relative because for me, in many instances, unless it's at a red light, it's very hard for cars to stop for you. And also depending on the part of the city where you are. For example, this road that goes right below Kigali Heights. There are like two, if not three, zebra crossings there. Cars never stop. It's almost like a highway for me. Yeah, they really. I don't know. Maybe I should hang out with you more and have cars stop for you and for me in the process. Because there's even this joke that we like to make about how reckless drivers are here. That in other countries, red means stop, yellow means slow down, green means go, right? In Rwanda, green means go, yellow means go faster, red means look left and right, and then go.
Let me just begin with my positive point. Is the way Rwandans, it's in line with what you guys were saying, very supportive. Like, for example, if you've lost someone, everyone is going to be there. Everyone is going to, like, try and be there for you. Maybe not even, like, having a conversation with you, but showing that they're right there with you. And, like, the home will just be full, and you won't even do anything, especially people who live in that home. People will take up roles. Some will take care of the cooking. The others will take care of, like, getting whatever needs to be done, the funeral, everything. So yeah, that's another good thing, and I haven't seen it anywhere else really. In the places that I've been to, it's probably just only in Rwanda. When you lose someone, like when someone dies, people really show up for you.
The peculiar thing about Kigali, the way we eat show. The way we eating show, going out, having a good time, up until like 5 in the morning. Seeing people going out at 2 a.m. But I love that about.
What do you mean by the way? Maybe that's what's peculiar.
Okay, so I've been to other places, right, where you see that in clubs you're actually close at 1 a.m., for example. Here at 1 a.m. is when people actually start going out. You'll see that maybe they're going around, in Kigali at 9 or 10, but it's more of a pre-gaming thing than the actual going out. And then 1 a.m. hits and they're like, okay, nice, time to go to the club. And, the places I've been, other outside of Rwanda, that's not the same thing. It's like they have, like, it's not official, but they kind of have this curfew, self-imposed, that, if 1 a.m. hits or 2 a.m. hits, it's time to go back home. It's weird.
So one thing I've noticed that might be a factor in that is that I noticed that drinking here of any sort, like any consumption of liquid here, is nonstop. Like, I've literally been out with people where they were having beers and I was just having a water or a Fanta. And even that, like, the waiter would come back consistently, another water. And, like, everybody, as soon as a drink is finished, another drink is being taken. And then another drink is being taken. I'm not saying people drink a lot, but I'm saying that a lot of liquids disappear in Kigali.
Another thing I realized about Kigali is that they really dress up for their weddings. Where I'm from, a guy can just wear a branded t-shirt, a t-shirt that's even a work t-shirt that he had, and just come for the wedding. That's not a big deal. As long as he's there, that's all that matters. But here, you have to be on flick, if you know what I mean.
So something else I've noticed that I haven't seen anywhere else is, so this is interesting. So I'm at a supermarket and I'm trying to pay for stuff, and the cashier is talking to somebody else and laughing and just doesn't even act like I'm there. And they don't tell me anything. And so I've noticed this in different places, restaurants, everywhere. They just take their jolly time. Like, your time is not important. What they're doing on their time is important. So I have to be like, yo. And then that's when they react. So that's a bit of a thing that I noticed that's very weird for me.
Even when they would finish talking, if they finish, they would just turn and look.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like your turn to do something. And I always have to say, what is my total? Like somehow I guess they thought that I was looking at the computer screen and or counting along in my head, and I know how much I owe and I'm ready to pay it. I've definitely noticed
It's so funny. It's so funny.
Oh, here's another one. Not keeping time. Let me tell you. Like, have you even when there's like an event and then maybe on that time they'll put like it starts at 10. Rwandans know that they mean it's starting at midday. Like we also know that. Like we don't keep time. But I don't know what's going to happen for guys to keep time because myself included. I try maybe. I'll be there like 30 minutes later. We are trying, okay, but let's have a strategy maybe to keep time. I don't know. Just in addition to that, also I don't know if you've probably noticed this when you're waiting to be served and then someone is taking the good time and they're laughing at someone else, and then when it's your turn because you've just been tired there watching, and then they give you this attitude of, well, you're boring, just pay and leave. Like they give you sort of like an attitude, and it's awkward. Yeah.
Another thing, actually, now that you brought that up, another thing is sometimes there could be a line, and this now really grinds my teeth. There could be a line. Maybe you're waiting to see maybe the bank manager or something, and then there's a guy who just comes, Shuti, Mva. He just literally does not see the line. He just does not see the line, and he comes straight to that person who is serving someone else and says, could you just like check for me this thing real quick? I'm like, honestly, like there are 3 other people. Are we trees? Are we and the thing is, people will keep quiet. People tend to keep quiet, and there's
I don't keep quiet. So here's the thing. I'm not really confrontational, but there are things that are just like peeves for me, and that is one of them. Mostly what I do though, I don't exactly like confront them with anger or anything. I just go up to them and I'm like, so you just noticed what you did? And they'll try to make excuses. So like, it's not that big a deal. I'm just alone. And I'm like, what if everybody else did the same thing? What kind of chaos would this cause? And then you see that in the moment, they'll be like, so that's what I do. But I make sure that I don't stay quiet because I hate that. Yeah. If you see that there is a line, just respect everybody's time and wait for your turn.
Yeah.
Another thing that is kind of peculiar about Kigali is we tend to share a lot, including sharing partners, which is probably one of the reasons why people tend to keep it on the low because they don't want to find out that your man is someone else's man too.
Another thing for me that I've also realized about Rwanda and Kigali is I've seen many times ladies running at night, running like just sports like jogging and running, and that is very peculiar for me because it shows the safety that is in Rwanda. Because where we're from, not only can even a man cannot run at night, even in the evening. You need to run 5-6 of you, and even 5-6, that's not even safe. There's some places where you only run if you're running away from something. But here, you can see the funniest thing. Even like when I'm going home at night, it's 10 o'clock, you see guys jogging and running and guys stretching this like just from a run. And I mean, it's such small things. It shows that you're actually in a different place. This different place.
What's up, Kigali? So for me, one thing that gets to me the most is the fact that you're walking on the pedestrian walkway and you see people are coming, people are going. So you're walking and you expect that, if there's a group of people coming, they would just fall in line so that these other group of people coming in the other direction would walk past. These people are just walking like they own the street, like their father built the walkway, and they even bump into you, like hit you. And I'm like, what is this, people? Don't do that. Like, just step away so that the next person can walk past. Please, people.
Yeah. Lydia, you had mentioned something about about the partying. I need to
I have so many questions about partying here, but I'll just try to limit myself to 2 for the moment. Question number 1. There are so many pool parties in Kigali, and I've even seen parties being advertised where like a little video was done. Like really, people are investing because to make a video that's not that easy to kind of get you to come out and really featuring the pool. And a lot of the key places that probably a lot of us like to hang out at have pools in the middle of the establishment. I have never seen one person enter these pools. I don't understand. What is up with these pool parties where nobody swims, where no one is even there with the equipment needed to swim?
Fully dressed.
Fully dressed.
We wear jeans at pool parties. I don't. Okay, so I don't know the reason, but the jokes about African people, black people in general. No, it is a myth, obviously. I don't get it though. Because around we even have a lot of water bodies, to be honest. So swimming should be like something that comes quick to us or naturally, I'd say. But I think it's also changing. Like if you've attended login this year or the 2019
How
one.
long this Let's talk about the login. Now you brought up my second point. So I've spent exactly 1 year, 1 month, and 5 days in Kigali. Now, I spent an entire 11 months from February 2019 till December 31st, 2019, where I went to parties that I wouldn't necessarily call parties. They were more like what we would call kickbacks. Like people are drinking, they're chatting, sometimes there's some games and things like that, but not really like, boogieing, like people dancing and so on. So I just accepted, okay, Kigali won't be that place for me. If I want to dance, I can do it in my room in front of the mirror, but it's not happening. All of a sudden, December 31st comes, January 1st comes, and we're logging in. And I see that people are logging in, logging out, like people are on another level. I've never seen partying like this anywhere in my life. Like 6 a.m. still going, sun is out. 7 a.m. still going, 8 a.m. I was with Jadida. I think we left around 8 or 9 a.m. It was packed. We went home and slept, came back at like 2 or 3 p.m. Still packed, same people, same outfits. So they didn't go home and sleep. Until 8 p.m., people were still like showing up in droves, like so many people. And it was actually really cool because I kept getting excited because I was like, look at people having fun. Like no one's judging. People are dancing. No one's staring. Like that was the crazy thing. If there was a day to stare, honestly, it was that day. Because people were wilding. Like maybe some of the people I was with were wilding. Maybe I was wilding. But like you could do it. And that was the one day it was like kind of an agreement that no one would stare and everybody would just do their own thing. Interesting, peculiar, cool though.
So I feel like in Rwanda, like there's only one day where it's meant for everyone to just like lose it. Guess what? Yeah, like to just have a good time. No one is gonna judge, and that day is on New Year's. So much so that the second is a holiday. Where else do you know that the second is a holiday? Because everyone, young and old, it doesn't matter. Everyone is just like recovering. So yeah, on New Year's people really go crazy.
I mean, you have survived a whole year with it, with the craziness and whatnot. You gotta celebrate, yeah, and go all in.
Just before we close, I have to admit that ever since I came to Rwanda, I thought that I'd seen rain until I came to Rwanda, and then I saw real rain, like real African rain. Like I have never seen it rain like that ever in my life in one place. It was crazy. Like I'm telling you, like the amount of rain that it rains for one night can rain that same amount of rain can rain like for a month in where I'm from. Like it was crazy. It's just crazy.
And I think what's really peculiar about this rain is the fact that it can be as sunny as it is right now, and then before you know it, the clouds just come out and it's like doomsday. And then it rains so heavily, things are thrown everywhere, and then the sun comes out again. I'm like, yo, make up your mind. What is this?
It always comes in the evening at 5.
We like
5 p.m. So punctual.
We like to joke that Kigali's weather is bipolar. It's so undecided. It's weird. But lately it has been, very, very punctual. 5 p.m., you know that
5
if you're
p.m.
not out of the office at 5 p.m., then you're in the office until 7.
You have an appointment at 5 o'clock. The person you're meeting won't be there, but the Kigali rain
Weather,
will be
always on
there.
We should learn. We should be taking notes from the weather. So another thing about Rwanda, I'm not entirely sure it's peculiar to us, but we are slow. We take our sweet, sweet time doing things. I've been to places where it annoys people to the highest level. Like if we're walking slow. If we're eating out, we spend 2 hours seated at the same table in the restaurant, just like having a good time, talking and banging. And we've been to places where we would do that, and then next thing we know, somebody comes up to us and they're like, so we're about to close.
Okay, so this one I really, really, really love about Kigali. I've been to so many countries where people go to clubs and you see women in like tight clothes, heels, makeup on fleek, hair down to their bums, I guess. But in Kigali, I mean, everybody's just, casual, having fun. There's no need for heavy makeup, Brazilian hair. Everybody's just themselves, and I really, really love that about Kigali. So yeah.
Like, we didn't realize we have spent this much time here.
Bruce, before you close, there is this one thing that I don't even know how I forgot this, but when I got here, we were. I always wondered why people would never eat on the streets, and this is something that is very peculiar to Rwanda. Like, you know how you can get a hot dog real quick and just bite as you're going back to the office, or a coffee. You can never see anyone eating here.
I eat on the streets and people look at me like I'm crazy, and I'm like, guys, I'm not littering. I'm just eating.
101 ways to get stared at in Rwanda.
This was a very interesting conversation. I feel like a lot of us had things to, just air out and be like, what is happening with Kigali and Rwanda? So guys, thank you very much for tuning in for yet another episode of 250 Chat. We'd like to hear your feedback and your comments, or some of the things that you feel we haven't talked about. Please feel free to get back to us, share on YouTube, on Instagram, on Twitter at 250 Chat, on all those platforms. We'd like to once again thank Four Blooms very much for being gracious enough to host us for another episode, and we hope to see you again, same place, same time, Mondays, Prime TV, 7:30. Thank you very much.